Hi, my name is Jackie Stevens. Welcome to my virtual yoga class. Many of you are familiar with the Yoga Sutras, and my favorite Yoga Sutra is Sutra 246, which is commonly translated from Sanskrit to English as posture should be stable and comfortable. Sthira Sukha are two common Sanskrit terms. Sukha is the good space. Sukha is the place where Sukha is the place where you are comfortable, where you have found the good space. In yoga, this usually translates to your asana, to your physical practice. When you're in a good, deep, routine breath, when you have grown comfortable with what you are practicing, and the breath and the movement sync up in such a way that you find yourself, no matter how difficult the pose, hanging out in this really good space. And we'll talk about a little bit more how that translates into real life as well. All yogic lessons translate from the mat to real life. When it comes to sukha, the good space, at the energetic level, Sukha manifests as an easy flow of breath and balanced circulation of life force. Mentally, this good space manifests as a meditative quality of joy, satisfaction, and spacious awareness. Sthira arises when your muscles are evenly engaged but free from effort. So you can see how they fit together. Sthira is your strength. Your cadence of your breath becomes more rhythmic. The mind becomes more patient and vigilant. And it observes what arises in your mind from moment to moment without you having to really force it and without you focusing on any one thing for too long. So you can see how Sthira Sukha works together, strength and the good space. And this is what we're going to look at today during our practice, even during the gentle times. We are going to do a little bit of yoga today that takes us from something a little, warming up obviously, into something a little bit active, and then back down into something stretchy and then relaxing. And we'll talk about how strength and ease, Sthira and Sukha, are important throughout this class. Go ahead and have near you, and I have the feeling that this is going to be one of these figure things out as I go along. So have as many of your props near you as you can. Something to act as a bolster or a big pillow, something to act as a belt or a tie, a blanket or two or three. Blankets are fabulous as yoga props. So go ahead and find those things, put me on pause and meet me back here, and we will go ahead and get started. Now, there are a couple of things I'd like to talk to you about before we start our practice. And if you are a practiced yogi or you've done this before, you don't necessarily need to keep listening to this. But these are important points. The first is to find an appropriate edge. So what that means is finding the right balance, not going too deeply into a pose to where you injure yourself, but not backing off too much that you don't get enough out of your postures. It's striking that balance, finding the appropriate edge. And in some cases, I'll tell you to find your deepest edge and then back off a little bit and work towards the edge with your breath. So find that appropriate edge. Be still. Avoid fidgeting. Avoid Anything in your practice that you do not need, you don't need to scratch your nose in this moment. I swear to you, it will not fall off. You don't need to move your arms and your legs. Find the comfort and be still. The biggest way to do that is to make sure that you feel safe, both in where you're practicing and what you have for props and what you're doing, making sure that you feel safe in what you're practicing. Hold all of your postures for a while. You don't want to move too quickly in and out of postures for several reasons. First of all, you won't get enough out of it. You need to hold for anywhere from 3 to 8 deep, slow breaths. Secondly, if you move too quickly in and out of postures and you don't engage your muscles and disengage your muscles properly, you hurt yourself. This leads us to releasing the posture with care, so that you very quietly and slowly move out of your postures to make sure that you have released your muscles and soft tissues appropriately. And with all of that being said, I'm going to go ahead and clear off my mat, move my little meditation cushion away from me, and we're going to get started. So I'd like to start in a little chest opener. A lot of what we're going to be doing today has to do with your mid-back, your thoracic spine. And it's an area that takes a lot of stress, but we tend to focus at the upper back and the lower back an awful lot. So this is going to be our mid-back. One of the reasons our mid-back takes a lot of stress is because our rib cage is attached there. So we want to make sure that the mid-back is nice and strong and that it's well stretched out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2 bolsters. If you have pillows, that's fine. Use pillows. You can use chair or couch cushions. Prop up your firmest pillow or bolster a little bit, and then take a blanket and put it over your setup. And at the bottom, give yourself a little bit of support for your hips and low back. And at the top, give yourself a little bit of support for your neck and your head. We are going to sit, bring your hips up against your bolster, adjust your blanket, make sure you're comfortable. Bring your feet to the floor, knees up, hands down next to you, and slowly roll down onto your props. Make sure that your neck and head are well supported. I like to have my support right underneath my occipital bones, which is the little ridge at your skull. So line everything up once you get here and get comfortable. You want to make sure that your head, neck, and shoulders feel well supported. If your head, neck, and shoulders feel well supported, your entire spine feels well supported. If your spine feels well supported, your body feels well supported. And when you feel well supported, you're safe and you can relax that much more. We want to allow space at the neck and allow the shoulders to fall back so that you're almost trying to cup your bolster with your shoulders. Your arms can relax down at your sides or can come to rest on your belly, whatever's comfortable for you. And then go ahead, and if it's available to you, stretch your legs long on the mat. As with all poses that we're going to hold for a few minutes, take the first few moments to make sure you're comfortable. See where your legs want to be, where they feel the most comfortable, and then maintain that position. Allow the eyes to close or to grow very, very heavy. With the lids heavy and the eyes unfocused. Bring your attention to your breath. And for different people, this means different things. You may feel your breath in your tummy, or you may feel your breath at your nostrils, inhaling the cooler air and exhaling the warmer air. If you feel your breath at your chest, bring the focus to the nose because we're not going to breathe into our chest for very long. So as you bring your focus to your breath, notice what it's doing. Is the breath deep and rhythmical? Have you already fallen into your yoga breath? Or is the breath still quick and shallow? Maybe only lifting the chest as you inflate the tops of the lungs. Just notice. There's no reason to alter your breath just yet. Simply follow and begin to get in touch with your breath. Then notice what your mind is doing. The mind and the breath are very connected. So if the breath is short and shallow, the mind is likely to be on its hamster wheel. Lots of thoughts, no focus. And that's fine. Just notice what the mind is doing. And anything you brought to the mat that maybe you cannot initially shake. And then take a journey down the body, noticing where you feel open, where you feel tight or closed, where you feel painful. Taking inventory of the mind, the body, and the breath. We are now going to begin to take control of the breath. We're going to drop into our three-part yoga breath, our Durga breath. So slowly begin to breathe into the belly. And as you do, let the belly inflate and round. With the exhale, the belly falls back down towards the spine. The inhale rounds the belly, separating the belly and the spine, making space. And with the exhale, the belly relaxes down. Take several breaths in this manner with a few cautions. If you start to feel dizzy or woozy, you're working too hard. Back off. Soften the breath. If you notice that you are breathing so hard on the inhale that your back is arching up, you're working too hard. Soften the breath. Allow the shoulders to really relax back and open the chest, making space. And then begin to draw the breath up into the ribs so that as you inhale, the belly lifts, the ribs move apart, and with the exhale, the ribs move together and the belly flattens to the spine. Inhale, belly, ribs. Exhale, Ribs flatten, belly softens. Take several more breaths in this manner, and I encourage you, as unflattering as this is, to think about your torso as a barrel. Because on the inhale, that's what we want to try to create, especially with the ribs, is a nice, round, spacious torso. If your exhale is longer than your inhale, that's wonderful. Don't sweat it, don't worry about it. And now notice if you're beginning to draw breath up in towards the collarbones, so that as you inhale, the belly rounds, the ribs round, and the chest lifts. With the exhale, the chest relaxes, the ribs draw together, and we draw the belly button back to the spine with intention. Our breath will assist us with our strength, so we want to start to wake up the core a little bit. Breathing deeply, making sure that you do not feel woozy or dizzy at all. So finding that balance with the breath. Comfort and strength. Good space and the space to maintain. Strength and ease. As you develop this rhythmical breath, know that unless I instruct otherwise, this is the breath you're going to use throughout your practice. So begin to develop a rhythm. And I'm going to encourage you to practice as much as possible with your eyes closed or just very heavy and unfocused. No one can see you. While your form matters because we don't want you to get hurt, the minor things probably don't matter a great deal. Close your eyes and focus on practicing from within, from the breath, creating a yogic bubble for yourself. And if your legs are extended long, go ahead and bring your feet to the floor. Gently rolling off your props, moving them aside, and then rolling onto your back, bringing with you, having near you, a tie, a belt, or a strap, whatever you're using, as well as a bolster, having that nearby. Lay back down, flat on your back with your knees in the air, feet on the mat. And take a few breaths. Let the spine relax down towards the mat. And respect the natural curves of your back. Don't feel like you have to press your low back into the mat. Do draw your shoulder blades together and let the shoulders travel away from the ears. And then draw the knees into the chest on an exhale. Wrap your arms around your shins or your knees or your hamstrings and draw everything in. It's also important to note that when I call out a breath and I say, for instance, draw the knees into the chest on an exhale, wait for your breath. Wait for your exhale. We always catch up because we've got a few minutes in these poses or a few moments. but it's best not to alter your breath to match what I'm saying. It all adds up, it all gets there. Go ahead and bring your hands to your knees with your fingers pointing down towards your feet. And have your core activated enough that it kind of helps you draw the knees into your chest. With your core slightly active, take an inhale and draw the knees out and away from each other. So we're circling the knees. The exhale draws the knees in. The inhale separates the knees and creates circles. Exhale, knees in. Inhale, circling away. Take several of these with your breath. And then go ahead and change direction. And as you change direction, you're going to change the breath slightly. So the inhale, the knees move away. The exhale, they circle and come in. Do not sweat if I don't make sense to you on this. As long as you're circling your knees and engaging your core slightly, you're doing it right. Draw the knees into the chest, give yourself a big squeeze in, and with an inhale, lift the forehead up towards the knees. Cross the left ankle over the right and reach for your ankles or your shins, whatever's available for you. With an exhale, draw the shoulders away from the ears and relax the head down to the mat, bringing the knees into the chest. So if you look at the screen for a moment, you'll see how squished in I am. And you'll also see that my head is flat on the floor. I'm all the way down. And I'm drawing these ankles tightly. This is a gentle hip opener. It works on your hips and your glutes. So breathe deeply here. What we are trying to do is just open the hips gently. Good. One more deep breath. And as you exhale, release the hands down to the mat. And then inhale, uncross the legs and stretch them up straight in the air. The core is slightly active, but mostly this is fairly effortless. And then if you feel like it, you can point the toes up in the air, pressing out through the balls of the feet, wiggling the toes. Exhale, press out through the heels. Inhale, Barbie toes, wiggling the toes. Exhale, pressing out through the heels. You can probably tell this stretches the back of the legs. And this is obviously a good thing. If you need to support yourself by holding on to the back of your thighs gently, please do. And then as you're ready, draw the knees into the chest. On an exhale, Wrap your arms around your shins and inhale your head up to your knees, squishing it in. And then we do the opposite direction, which I hope is your right ankle over your left. Reaching for your ankles or your shins. Draw the knees in and bring the head to the floor on the exhale. Breathing deeply here. Let's take 5 good deep breaths. And in this instance, the exhales can be longer than the inhales. The breath does not have to be balanced. You can relax. 4, 5. Release the ankles, arms down at the side, uncross the feet. Inhale, stretching up. And again, if you have to hold on, you can. And this time we're going to circle at the ankles. You'll hear some snap, crackles, and pops. There's a lot of little bones in the feet, a lot of soft tissue. And then reverse it. You may notice as you get older that your feet change shape. We lose a lot of soft tissue in our feet as we get older, and our feet do change shape. Depending on inflammation and other factors, they may grow bigger, they may grow smaller. And with an exhale, draw the knees into the chest, setting the left foot on the floor. Take your strap, tie, belt, whatever it is, wrap it around the ball of your foot, and first draw that knee in nice and tight. Really squish it in. Stretch your left leg on the mat if that is available to you, pressing out through the left heel and pressing that left hamstring into the floor. This is absolutely part of your balance. This is part of your foundation. On an inhale, stretch that right leg up in the air, pressing out through the heel, holding on to your strap. Now, lots of us have tight hamstrings. I have very short, tight hamstrings. So what I'm going to suggest is if you have tight hamstrings, bend the right knee gently and just leave it a little bit soft. And then maybe even let the foot travel away from you. You'll find if you do that, you may even be able to stretch out the leg a little bit more. But then draw the leg closer to you. Hamstring. I can feel my hamstring from one insertion point to the other at this point. So find that happy balance. I have found my edge. Now I need to find my good space. If I stayed here too long, I would feel it tomorrow. And if I come any further, I can feel my foundation shifting as I'm trying to accommodate this tightness. I could hurt myself here. So I'm going to back off. I'm going to find a comfortable place I can hold. I'm going to soften the knee a little bit. So lying here, breathing deeply. Your hips are lined up. Neither hip is hiked up higher than the other. So you feel both hips moving heavily into the floor. You're respecting the curve at the low back. You are not pressing against the floor, but you do have your core slightly engaged. And then make sure your chin is not pointing up too high. This is not good for your neck. You want to try to have stretch at the front and the back of the neck approximately even. So your chin is tucked in slightly. So we're going to take our left arm, we're going to stretch it out to the side with our hand against the floor. Pressing the left leg into the floor, we're going to inhale the right leg out to the side. So taking a stretch at the groin muscles. Now you may find that left hip starts to hike up. This is not what we want. This is not a good stretch. Bring that left hip heavily into the floor, bringing the left hand to it if you need to weight it down. And then as you open up, you may find you want to bring your right elbow to the floor to give you a little bit of support as you open up. So you keep pressing the left side down and breathe into the right side, trying to open up. And again, go to your edge and then back off a little bit. Your strength is in your left side. Your good space is on the right side. Go ahead and inhale the right leg up to center. And now we're bringing the right arm out to a half T, palm down again. Take a big inhale in place. I like to take a big breath before I twist. And then go ahead and roll onto your left hip, bringing the right foot over to the left, stretching that right arm away from the heart. Now, how I like to teach twists is keeping the neck comfortable. So your gaze may be up, your gaze may be over your right hand, your gaze may be over to the left. It's all good. Just remember to do on this side, on the other side, what you've done on this side. So if your gaze is up, your gaze is up. If you look to the right, you'll look to the left. Breathe deeply into your side, and if you would like to, you can put blocks or a bolster underneath the left foot to catch it. Breathing deeply, feeling the twist at the right hip, the stretch at the right leg, and inhale up, clasping the tie, belt, whatever you have in both hands, releasing it. We're going to go ahead and exhale the right leg down to the floor. And pause for a moment. Notice the difference between how your right leg and your left leg feel. You should feel some difference. And then go ahead and inhale the left leg up, drawing the knee into the chest. You know if you can stretch that right leg on the mat. If it's not comfortable to you, then you bring the right foot to the mat. Remember, the right leg has to stay on the mat heavily enough to be our foundation. So if it's kind of hovering or it's not quite there, bring the foot to the floor. Press out through the right heel, really squish in, breathing deeply here, having your strap available. Wrapping it around the ball of the left foot. Inhale, stretch the leg up, and then find your sweet spot. Now my left leg today is tighter than my right leg, so it's going to stay a little more away from me, and I'm going to bend it so that you can see exactly what I mean. So if I straighten my leg and try to lock out that knee, I literally cannot go any further than this without feeling discomfort down into my calf and up into my glute. So that's not going to be good for me today. So I need to get into that hamstring by bending the knee gently, drawing it towards me, making sure the right side is strong and foundational. Close the eyes and breathe deeply. Let's take about 8 breaths. Remember, you don't need to move. Be still and quiet. The quieter you are with your body, the quieter the mind is. Good. Take your strap in your left hand, stretch your right arm out to that half T. Take a big inhale and open the left leg out to the side, keeping the right leg strong. Good. I'm going to back off a little bit because my right hip is not strong on the ground. And I'm going to find a place to put my left elbow so I can support my leg. And then I'm going to take about 3 breaths here. And when you're ready, inhale the leg up to center, taking the strap in the right hand, left arm out to a T. Take that big inhale. And as you exhale, the left foot comes over to the right and you roll substantially onto that right hip. And then you move aside the shoulders and you breathe deeply. If it's available to you, you can try to draw the toes up towards your nose a little bit, or you just stay where you are and breathe. Good. Inhaling your way back to center. Release the strap. Inhale the right leg up and hold here for a moment. Good. Now we're going to bring the arms down alongside of us. If you know that your core or your low back is weak, you can lay on your hands and then slowly exhale the legs down, keeping that core active. Good. And then release your hands. Bring your feet to the floor, rolling off to your right side. Come up to a seated position. Hands to your knees. Sitting up straight, shoulders down and rolled back. Inhale, sit up nice and tall, expressing the chest forward, lifting the chin gently. Exhale, chin to chest, rounding the back. So these are seated cat-cows. Inhale, sit up, lift the chin, shoulders together. Exhale, chin to chest, broadening the shoulders. Take several of these, moving at your pace, trying to leave the legs still. So the legs are heavy and foundational. The legs are strong. And the core is strong. Of course, you're feeling this movement start and stop at your belly button. Good. And then go ahead and clasp your hands in front of you. And as you inhale, lift the arms, lift the gaze. Exhale, elbows back, stretching the arms in front of you. Inhale, up. Exhale, in and broaden. Inhale, up. Exhale, release the arms down. Inhale, arms up, but chin stays at neutral. And exhale, twisting to your left. Right hand to left leg, left arm behind you. Sit up tall on your inhale, and as you exhale, twist to the left. Breathe deeply. I'm moving because I want you to be able to see something about my arm. So my left arm is close behind me for several reasons. It supports the spine by being close like this. It can be a shadow for your spine. And you're sitting up straighter. If your arm is back, you're leaning into it and you're using the arm to torque you into it. You are not getting the same stretch. Breathe deeply, good. Now your gaze can look over your right shoulder. And with an inhale, make your way back to center, lifting the arms up. And this time we're going to exhale to the right. Same thing, right hand comes behind you, lifting up. Left hand to right leg, and we twist. We use the breath here to help assist us in the twist. Good. And with an inhale, you can look over the left shoulder. Beautiful. And release. Switch your legs so that whatever leg is in front goes in the back. Go ahead and cross your arms over your heart and let your chin stay at neutral throughout this entire exercise. As you inhale, open up the arms, draw the elbows back, opening up the chest. Exhale, crossing hands over heart. Inhale, opening up. Exhale, hands to heart. And you can alternate which hand is on top if you want to. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Good. And let's go ahead now and come to our hands and knees. So we're going to get into the shoulders and mid-back a little bit with this. Let your gaze come to your left hand. And as you inhale, there's a lot of weight in your right hand to maintain the posture. As you inhale, you are going to stretch this left arm back towards the left knee and press your hips back to your heels. On the exhale, we're going to lift up and bring it down to the floor. Inhale. Take the hand back, gaze follows, and as you exhale, lift up. The gaze follows the hands. Inhale, take it back. Exhale, lift it up. Take it back. Lift it up. Take a big inhale in place. And as you exhale, thread your left arm underneath your right, bringing your ear to the mat. So I'm going to switch sides so you can see what I look like. So bring your right hand directly in front of your face. I like to come up on tippy fingers. It's an opportunity to strengthen my fingers, which I find I always need. And sometimes you need to lift up and readjust. So you're pressing into the floor one way or another with your right fingertips. Your right elbow is bent and the shoulder is drawing way back. So you're trying to keep drawing that right shoulder back. Even though the left ear stays on the floor in the face, we keep drawing the right shoulder back, coming into more and more of a twist. And then release. And we will move to the other side. So your right hand now, following it. We're going to switch the breaths, by the way. I like to do that sometimes. So inhale, and as you exhale, fingertips back, hips towards heels. Inhale, arm up. Exhale, taking it back. Inhale, up. Exhale, taking it back. Inhale, up. Exhale, back. Inhale, up. And then thread the arm under the left. Your right face comes to the floor. Your left fingertips come to the floor directly in front of your nose. We press into the floor and keep drawing that left shoulder back, moving more and more into a twist, breathing deeply. Now, the more you can relax into your breath, the more that you would be able to relax Find your good space. And pressing into the floor, inhale, lift that arm up, both hands to the floor. Now we're going to move into a little bit more active movements now. So go ahead and on your inhale, press into your hands and your knees, stretching from the tailbone to the crown of the head. Keep the length in your spine as you exhale. Tuck the toes under and lift the hips towards the ceiling. So you're in a bent knee down dog. Inhale, straighten your legs as best you can, bringing the heels towards the floor. Exhale, bend the knees one more time, but you keep pressing your torso back. So it's almost as though your belly is resting on your thighs. And with an inhale, you bring your knees to the floor, so we're back to tabletop. Inhale, stretch long. Exhale, tuck toes, lift to bent knee, down dog. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend the knees. Inhale to the floor. Exhale, let's take it back this time. Inhale, up to tabletop. Exhale, tuck the knees, bent knee dog. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, knees. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, child's pose. Take a few breaths. Inhale, up to tabletop. Exhale, bend the knees. Inhale, straighten. And this time as you exhale, go ahead and walk forward until you are standing between your hands. Bend your knees generously and let your belly rest towards your thighs and let your arms dangle. The neck is soft. You can turn the chin from side to side. Let the neck relax. Good. Bring your hands to your hips. Inhale, make your way up to the top. With your hands still on your hips, go ahead and take a step back. We're going into warrior one pose. So your right knee will be bent, your left toes will be out to the sides, and you're going to try to move your hips to face the front. You don't want to literally force them. You want to breathe them there. So give yourself a few moments to settle in. Good. With an inhale, stretch your arms up, and I'm going to have you bend your elbows gently. That just gives you a little more space in your shoulders. It's a little less stress. And you can lean forward gently. So there's lots of strength in that back leg and lots of space in the front one. As you inhale, go ahead and stretch your arms up, straighten the front leg. Exhale, elbows back, bending the knee. Inhale, stretch it up. Exhale, elbows back. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, elbows. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, elbows, and hold. So as you breathe here, keep drawing the shoulder blades together and lean forward gently, keeping that core engaged and that back leg active. Good. Release the arms down, hands to hips. Step forward and then step back with the right foot. So now we're reversing it. The left knee is bent. It's active. The right leg is strong. That's our foundation, our strength. Inhale your arms up. Exhale them gently. And hold for a few breaths while you Work yourself into position. The hips are facing forward, etc. Inhale, stretch the arms up. Exhale, elbows back. I forgot something. Inhale, elbows up, straighten the leg. Exhale, elbows back. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, hold. Take a few breaths here. And then release the arms down. Go ahead and step forward. And we're going to go ahead and take your legs away from each other so you're to the side. All of your toes are facing in the same direction. Your legs are as wide as they can be. Again, find your edge, but don't go too deep into it. So once you find your edge, back off a little bit. Bring your hands to your thighs. Stand up tall, shoulders down, gazes ahead. Make sure your chin is not lifted. Inhale, and as you exhale, engage the core and gently make your way down. Your knees can soften. Bring your hands to the floor in front of you. So you're kind of in a halfway up. And you can even bring your heels out a little bit, so you're a little bit pigeon-toed. Keep the knees slightly bent, but keep everything active and engaged. Good. Inhale, and as you exhale, you're going to walk your hands over to the left. So you're going to try to bring both hands to the outside of the edge of the left foot. Breathe deeply. And then go ahead and walk back to center. Inhale and exhale, walking over to the right foot, trying to bring both hands to the outside edge. Good. Keep the legs strong. And inhale, walk the hands back to center. Exhale, walking the hands through the legs. So to turn to the side, whoops, my arms are all the way through, palms up. I've got my knees bent gently, and I'm not leaning too far forward or too far back. Breathe here for a few moments. Then you're going to bring your hands to your hips. Slowly make your way up. We're going to inhale the arms up. Take your feet at least mat width. And exhale, make your way down. So we're in a squat. Bring your elbows to the inside of your knees. Open up. Hands to heart, lifting the spine. Good. Bring your hands to the floor. Come to your hands and knees. And we're going to go ahead and come to standing on our hands and knees. Just a couple more active asanas, and then we're going to go ahead and make our way down to the floor. So standing on our knees, we are going to inhale the arms up. We are going to exhale, bring the hips to the heels, sweep the arms back so the hands rest on the sacrum, the forehead to the floor. Inhale, lifting up, arms come up. Exhale, hips to heels, forehead to floor, arms to sacrum. Inhale up. Exhale back. Inhale up. Exhale back. Inhale up. Exhale back. And inhale up. Good. Okay, so from here, we come down to our bellies, and you set up as though you're going to go into cobra. So bring your hands to the floor, forehead to center, legs extend back. Make sure your legs are back and nice and strong. Go ahead and bring your hands now back to your sacrum, forehead to floor, and then go ahead and turn your head to the left. As you inhale, you're going to lift up as though in a cobra. Lift the arms. Head comes to center. Exhale, draw the elbows back. Inhale, stretch them forward. Exhale, forehead to floor, palms to sacrum. Turn your head to the right. Inhale, lifting up, head to center, arms extend out. Exhale, back. Inhale, forward. Exhale, release down, turn your head to the left, hands to your sacrum. Inhale, up, head centers, arms stretch out. Exhale, elbows back. Inhale, forward. Exhale, release down, head turns to the right. We're going to do one more set. Inhale, up, head to center, arms stretch out. Exhale, back. Inhale, forward. Exhale, bring it back. Head turns to the left. One more. Inhale, lift up, stretch the arms out. Exhale, back. Inhale, forward. Sweep the arms back as you exhale and lower yourself, turning yourself to the right, and we're done. Go ahead and we're going to do a sphinx. So bring your elbows to the floor underneath your shoulders. Lift up, relax the shoulders down, chin is down and your gaze is between your hands. Relax the low back. This is an excellent position for practicing Sithra Sukha because you need this strength in your arms and in your hands and in your shoulders to allow everything else to drape down. I have described this pose before as feeling like you're a hanger and your skin and your soft tissue are clothes that are just hanging off of you. Completely limp and relaxed. Continue that deep breath. Don't forget it. Find your strength and ease. And then slowly release down and go ahead and roll over to your back. Find your props again. And what I'm going to have you do is make that setup again with one bolster under the other. But this time have your blanket or blankets handy. Maybe even pre-roll them. Nice and long. And have that near you. And you'll see why in a second. Coming to here. So bring your hips up to the bolster, relax down, feet to floor. We're going to start to move into our restorative poses. So with your feet on the floor and your back against the bolster, your neck, shoulders, and head are completely comfortable. Once you get there, take your blanket and kind of wrap it around your feet like this. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bring the soles of our feet together and open out our legs. See, the blanket will support because we want to relax. We are not going to want to put effort into holding the legs here. We want them to be completely relaxed. If you have any kind of blocks or eggs, you know how to place them under your thighs. Those will work perfectly. Otherwise, blankets work just as well. And then relaxing yourself back down. Go ahead and bring your shoulders away from your ears. Stretch your arms out to the sides and focus at your breath. We are going to do a brief meditation while we are here. So close your eyes completely. Make sure the neck is long and that the chin is down towards the chest, neutral actually. The jaws are relaxed, the forehead is relaxed, all the joints in your body are soft. And then project a blank white space between your eyebrows at your third eye center, your Ajna chakra. Make sure that that place between your eyebrows is relaxed. And then on that blank white space, when you're ready, inhale and project the number 10, 10, on that blank white space. And as you exhale, hold the number 10 in place. With the next inhale, the 10 changes to a 9. And as you exhale, you hold the 9. Inhale, the 9 changes to 8. Exhale, hold the 8. Inhale, 7. Exhale, holding the number 7 in place. Inhale, the 7 changes to a 6. And you exhale the 6. Inhale, 5. Exhale, holding the 5. Inhale, watch the 5 change to 4. Exhale, holding the 4. Inhale, the 4 changes to 3. Exhale, holding the 3. Inhale, 3 changes to 2. Exhale, holding the 2. Inhale, the 2 changes to 1. Hold the 1 in place. Inhale, the 1 changes to 0. Hold the 0 there in place, watching it slowly dissipate or fade until you've returned to that blank white space. And then release the space and fall into your natural breath. It's not going to take a lot to move into the next posture. Just bring your feet to the floor slowly. Remember not to hop out of any position. You just want to bring your legs up, feet to the floor. Pause for a moment. Then you're going to stretch your right leg straight. And with your left knee bent, bring the left foot into the right thigh or against the right knee so that you're in a half butterfly. And of course, you can use a blanket underneath the left knee if that helps. Relax down here. We are going to hold this for about 5 more breaths. And of course, you're always welcome to hold poses longer and pause me and come back when you feel fulfilled. And then bring that left foot to the floor. Stretch it down long. Bring the right foot to the floor, bending the knee and opening the right knee out. Now, how do we bring Sithra Sukha off the mat? If you think about it, there's many ways to do this. If you're ever talking to your children and you realize perhaps you are over disciplining them, that would be a moment to find a little ease, wouldn't it? And a little less strength. There are so many times where we can try in our real life to find that balance, not just in our speech, but in everything we do. Bring the right foot to the floor, stretch the leg out in front of you, and then for Shavasana, our final relaxation pose, you can either lay here on your setup with your shoulders gently opening and holding on to the bolster, or you can move aside very slowly and quietly anything that's on your mat. And I like to personally bring a bolster under my thighs or my knees. And then when I go into Shavasana, I often get a little chilly because my blood pressure drops. So I like to have a little blanket over me. You can also, if you don't get chilly, take your blanket underneath your head and make your head and neck comfortable. Or, of course, you can use 2 blankets and do both. So as you're lying here, find your absolutely comfortable place. And if you have on bright lights or anything of that nature, you can go ahead and maybe turn the lights down or, put a blanket over your eyes. Anything to just relax yourself a little bit more. You're in your comfortable place, you're in your sweet spot. You're going to release any effort. So your breath simply returns to its natural place. Your body is relaxed and you're taking up space. Let your arms really move away from you. Let your feet really be apart. Let your joints be fully relaxed. Inhale deeply and exhale completely. And as you relax and your breath is soft and natural with no real effort, I'm going to take you through a body scan to bring you a little deeper into your Shavasana. So as I call out different body parts, you're going to move your focus there. And you're just going to breathe naturally and you're just going to alternate your focus. Bring your focus to your right hand. Your right hand. Bring your focus to your right wrist. Your right wrist. Bring your focus to your right elbow. Your right elbow. Bring your focus to your right shoulder. Your right shoulder. Bring your focus to your right armpit. Your right armpit. Bring your focus to your right waist. Your right waist. Bring your focus to your right thigh. your right thigh. Bring your focus to your right knee, your right knee. Bring your focus to your right calf, your right calf. Bring your focus to your right ankle, your right ankle. Bring your focus to your right foot, your right foot. Bring your focus to your left hand, your left hand. Bring your focus to your left wrist, your left wrist. Bring your focus to your left elbow, your left elbow. Bring your focus to your left shoulder, your left shoulder. Bring your focus to your left armpit, your left armpit. Bring your focus to your left waist, your left waist. Bring your focus to your left hip, your left hip. Bring your focus to your left thigh, your left thigh. Bring your focus to your left knee, your left knee. Bring your focus to your left calf, your left calf. Bring your focus to your left ankle, your left ankle. Bring your focus to your left foot, your left foot. Bring your focus to the top of your head, to the top of your head. Release any effort and fall into the rhythmical pattern of your natural breath. Allow your skin to rest against the floor, muscles to rest against the skin, bones to rest against your muscles. I encourage you to put me on pause and lie here for as long as you are comfortable. And then we're going to do a little break here. Once you have relaxed in your Shavasana for as long as feels appropriate, until you feel really fulfilled. When you do, roll off or bring, first of all, nope, let me try that again. Sithra Sukha, strength and ease. When you think about how you can apply these to your yoga practice, it's pretty easy, especially the more yoga you do. How you take it off the mat is up to you, as it is with many of these yoga concepts. Strength and ease are important because, as you know, in your speech, in your action, in your daily life, if you have too much strength and not enough ease, You're going to be looked at differently and you're going to be treated differently. Perhaps you will come off as a real disciplinarian or someone who feels like they're always right. And if you bring too much ease into your life, it's the opposite. You can be seen as someone who's very soft and easily taken advantage of. So finding the strength and the ease in your life, in your action, in your word, in your deed is so important. And you'll find it. Maybe you're already doing it, and the yoga is simply agreeing with what you already do in your life. So as you become ready to come out of your Shavasana, notice if your body is asking for any movement. Perhaps roll the head from side to side or wiggle the fingers or toes. And then when you're ready, take a nice long stretch, maybe one side and then the other, and then a good long good morning stretch. Feel like you are just waking up in 1,000 thread sheets. And there's fresh squeezed orange juice waiting for you. Maybe you're by the ocean and you can smell the ocean breeze. So take that good morning thought with you as you roll off to your right side and slowly make your way up to a seated position. Pausing for a moment to take that same little inventory that we took at the beginning of class. Check in with your breath, your mind, and your body to notice the differences that your yoga practice brought you. Drawing the hands together at heart center, bowing the forehead to the fingertips. The bright and shining light that resides within me and guides me on a daily basis honors the bright and shining light within each of you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste. My name is Jackie Stevens, and I thank you for joining me in class today. Goodbye.